movies.
It says it's waiting on you, so it must be loading.
It says it's live. It says right there.
Oh.
The little yellow box of doom for the viewer. Great. Now, which one of these programs is going to crash first?
Oh, okay. So I got to turn volume off on the Facebook feed, but leave volume on.
All right, I did watching that.
No, I just was going to have it open so I could double check it every now and then.
Mm.
All right. So I guess let's see if this is going to work. Why don't you introduce us, Scott, and then I'll do our sponsor for the episode.
Cool. All right. Welcome to a live stream of the Illustrious Gentlemen podcast. He is Ryan Cody. I'm Scott Godleski. We are both working comic professionals, and on the show here we talk about comics and just life, comics life, whatever, art, movies, whatever we feel like talking about. So this is episode 75, right? That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
I feel like we should have the death of Illustrious Gentlemen or something for some 75.
Yeah, I actually looked online for the 75th anniversary, but it's just boring diamond. I couldn't think of anything funny.
Jesus, who makes it to 75?
I think you'd have to get married at like 10, like child brides. They make it to 75.
I was thinking Death of Superman because that was Superman 75. So, like, for the thumbnail, I would paste the logo onto the cape on the stick in the rubble.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I forgot. I'm preoccupied. I forgot my.
That's a good idea.
I accidentally took my bottle opener home a couple of weeks ago, so I'm popping open bottles with Phillips head or with flathead screwdrivers. So it takes a little more.
There's your table.
Yeah, I don't want to chip this fine particle board table I have here. I don't want to fuck it up.
Oh yeah.
Okay. There you go. So today's episode, we have one sponsor as opposed to last week when we had 4. Today's sponsor is Spaz Dog Press's Nothing Can Stop Me Now. More stories inspired by the songs of Nine Inch Nails. I kept referring it to as Volume 2, so we're going to refer to it as Volume 2. So Spaz Dog does music anthologies. They've done a Smiths one. They've done a Pixies one, the greatest band on the planet. They've done a Nine Inch Nails one, and now they're doing a second Nine Inch Nails one. And it goes to Kickstarter on May 17th. That's where you could pre-order it. I think that's the only way you can get it is to go to Kickstarter on May 17th and pre-order yours. Look for the Spaz Dog Press on Kickstarter. It's got stories by Eric Esquivel, Dirk Manning, Raven Gregory. It's got art by our friend Tone Rodriguez. That's a nice head. It's got art by our friends Tone Rodriguez.
I needed to make noise.
Drew Moss. Nat Jones, Jim Offwood, Christopher Mitten, who I love. So a lot of great artists on there. Cover by Ben Templesmith. So be sure to check it out May 17th on Kickstarter. All right. Sweet. So Scott, what did you just open?
I just opened a new Belgium Tripel. I want to say it like that, Tripel.
Yeah, I feel like I reviewed that a couple weeks ago.
Did you? It's backwards.
Well, it's not backwards to me.
Oh. Okay.
Much like our relationship. Yeah.
New Belgium Brewing Company?
Yeah.
Fort Collins, Colorado. 100% employee owned, if that matters to you. It actually says to serve at 48 to 50 degrees. It's been out for a while now. I think we're over that. What else? 8.5 ABV, blah, blah, blah. Whatever.
Oh, 8.5 for you. Are you going to be able to get any work done?
That's what afternoon? I got left.
Yeah.
It was this or whiskey.
Okay. So,
I'm
drinking I'm drinking. See, the funny thing is you got to make noise so you're on screen so no one can see the face you're making. Okay, so I'm drinking I don't know what this is. This was kind of a last minute, so I had to get what the Maverick could offer. So I got a Breckenridge Brewing Mango Mosaic Pale Ale, 5.5 ABV.
Exotic.
Yeah, and a little worried because on my 3-site metric, it only came to a 3.5 out of 5. But there is a classic Woody Chandler review on Beer Advocate. So I'm going to read it to you.
Yeah.
Try to look at the camera, but I got to read at the same time. I don't know if I could do that.
Your prompter.
I popped the cap and commenced a very gentle pour since I could not remember when I purchased this bottle. It was a good thing because towards the bottom of the bottle, I began to get some chunks. There may have been actual mango. There may have been actual mango or perhaps just flocculent.
That's what this thing is going to make me blow later.
I immediately backed off and stopped my pour. An in-glass swirl raised 2+ fingers of foamy, bone-white head with moderate retention. Nose that had an unmistakable tropical fruitiness of mango. Overseas Liberty ports in the Pacific often included mango for breakfast as well as papaya and pineapple. No scurvy for us. Plus, all that fiber kept us regular fellas. Mouthfeel was medium. The taste was very fruity and easily identifiable as mango, but it was not cloyingly sweet either. The hops gave it just enough bitterness to give it an edge. So, to be honest, and because this is on video, I have not cracked the Mango Mosaic yet because I didn't finish my pre-gamer. So, I'll let you know how that is towards the end of the show.
Let's see. I also actually took the 30 seconds to look up a review of my drink. I'm going to read one from Zen Vortex on Beer Advocate, who gives it a 2.01.
Okay.
Just got it just over 2, the 2.01.
Double dose of Beer Advocate Theater today.
Pardon. Pours too clear for a triple. Red lights go off. No real head or lacing worth noting. He doesn't use periods. They're just backslashes between statements. No real head or lacing worth noting. Funk smell, farmhouse maybe. No such luck on taste. You want it to taste like a farmhouse? More like a third than a triple. Big disappointment. Way too metallic. Decent combination, but who cares at this point? Being a big, all caps, Belgian Abbey Tripel fan, I'd say this is almost laughable and would turn folks off to the thought of a triple bummer, dude.
Okay.
So, that's that. Taste 1.5 in his metrics.
I thought you said he was a 2.1.
2.1 overall. The smell bumped it way up. He put a 3.25 for smell. I don't like that word smell. Can they change that to nose or fragrance or something?
One of my best friends from high school, I've known this guy for oh, by the way, I'm wearing my glove. One of my best friends from high school, I've known for like 30 years. He hates the word panties. So he won't say the word panties. He'll say ladies' underwear.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. So today we're going to try something different. Well, we're going to do it, whether it records or not, or whether how it turns out is the try. But we're both going to work, right? We're both working today.
You look like you should start breakdancing with that glove.
Oh, that's a different dance, but I can't dance. Okay. So, I mean, I can dance. I can't break dance. Yeah, so we're both going to work. So this is the new fascination for us, right? Is streaming and recording shit for whatever reason.
We're totally obsessed with Twitch.
It's like fucking, except I'm off Twitch, I think, because my Facebook Live videos yesterday got way more, like 50 more times hits, which makes sense because I have like 1,000 more followers, 1,000 times the followers on Facebook than I do on Twitch. So it makes sense.
Yeah, I have to try that. I have not done the Facebook Live. I did a YouTube Live video yesterday or the day before.
Did you get any feedback to it?
No, of course not.
Yeah, see, on Facebook, people were like leaving comments and shit, and it was cool. So
if I did that, I would do that probably to my fan page on Facebook to bring
fans
traffic there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I had a lot of people who aren't comic fans watching my video yesterday, like cousins.
But you were streaming it on just your regular page, right? Like your personal page.
Right.
Yeah. See, I know people are already there.
Yeah, but doesn't it make you feel better that you got X amount of views? It doesn't matter who they are.
No.
Women, children, babies, dogs. Yeah.
Cody's stream is the #1 stream with children, babies. 0.
Okay, so what? As I zoom into 100% after we talked about this last week, let me zoom out on my Photoshop. So I'm working on an Android. I'm still working on the same damn page in Photoshop. It's Android Jones.
Shameful.
Short. Well, I'm doing it between other work. So what are you working on? If I'm working on page 1 of Android Jones #3, what are you working on?
I'm working on page 14 of this Copperhead script that I wrote.
Are you drawing it or are you still writing it?
No, I'm drawing it.
Because your feed this morning of you writing was fascinating.
Essentially, I have plotted the arc out, so I was scripting the issue.
Well, watching you stare at your laptop writing dialogue was fascinating because
I warned everybody.
Full minutes where you didn't speak at all.
Mm-hmm. What's going to happen here too?
Well, when this issue finally comes out, we should do a live reading of it. You know,
live reading.
Yeah, like I'll be certain characters and you'll be certain characters. Because people are gonna see you work on it. They've seen you write
the unofficial audiobook.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Oof. My pregame beer is good, but it's not a my pregame beer is good, but it's not a chugging beer. But I'm trying to chug it to get to the mango Mosaic.
Pace yourself, son. It's not even noon.
I know, but then I gotta eat lunch and sober up and all that good stuff. Like I said, this is like a last minute.
That's a good idea.
It's like a last minute.
I ate lunch before we came on.
Oh no, I got my bag of oranges like I'm a 8-year-old soccer player. I got that I might munch on later, but
I'm gonna be screwed after this.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So, moving into our new fascination of Twitch and all that stuff, you're working and I'm working,
or just streaming in general, right?
Streaming in general, right? So, I guess I'm going to work. The whole idea of this, whether it happens or not, is that there will at some point be a YouTube video of us talking, but of the work getting done, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the idea, but that's not happening right now. We're not live streaming our artwork.
No,
I'm not.
No,
right.
I'm not.
Okay.
I don't think I can add another thing to this laptop.
So why don't you go first? Why don't you describe what you're doing, or if there's method behind your madness? But I can't see what you're doing. So,
well, I'm going to be drawing page 14. I haven't started anything, so I got to do layouts, which is by far the worst part.
There's no redeeming qualities to layouts.
Just worst.
I'm kind of excited this adventure van book that I'm getting back going again through Golden Apple Comics out this summer. I didn't have to show them layouts. I just gave him a final page, and if he had any problems, I'd fix it. And he rarely had any problems. So I'm excited to go back to that style of working where I have I can just go straight to the page, especially now that I'm working digitally. Layouts to inks might be, 5-minute stretch if I'm just working on one panel. So I like being able to work at that pace, although I do have an editor now on the book. There was not an editor earlier, so he might want to see layouts, but hopefully
editors.
Editors can't this editor actually, the last 2 notes I've gotten from editors were fantastic, and it bothers me. Like, that's their job, right? But it bothers me that, like, at first I'm like, oh, they think they know better than me, and then they do. So, like, that's the worst part.
That's the worst part, is that they know better than you?
Yeah, the worst part is I'm wrong, and I don't like being wrong. So when they're like, "Oh, maybe we should try this or add this to it," and at first I'm like, "Oh, that's going to be dumb."
That's a good part to think of as the worst part.
Yeah, and then I do it, and this happened all the time. It's better. Every time I've worked with an editor, it's been better. The Dark Horse work I did with Chris Warner, every note he had made the book way better. So
what they do.
Yeah, they do. Okay, so you're starting with layouts on that page. So when you start with layouts, so I did a live stream last week where I broke down, and I start with panel borders, so I lay out my panel borders, and then I start doing layouts. So do you think that way, or do you rough out the page and then figure out panels after?
What works best for me is to read through the page like a half a dozen times and then go do something else and let my brain chew on it. Because if I sit down and just start throwing stuff on the page, traditionally is not turned out as well as it has using the other method. But since I'm tied to the table right now in these headphones and the stream, I got to do something.
But do you so what I do is I read the script, probably not 5 or 6 times, but I read the script and then I get an idea of how many panels. I mean, sometimes it'll say it. I don't know how you're working, so I guess mine says it. So then I envision like how much space these. So if it says a 6-page panel, then I envision which panels. 6-panel page. Then I envision like which. I'm doing way too much stuff. I'm drinking. I'm drawing. I'm talking. So then I figure out which panels need the most space, and I do that all mentally, and then I lay out my borders, and then I start doing layouts. Do you work that way?
Hangouts was the first program to go. Oh, there he is.
Hey, okay. Did you? So, all right. So, yeah. So I think about which panels are most important. I make those the big panels, and I lay out my grid before I even start working. Do you work the same way?
I work differently every time with layouts. Like if you're working digitally, I think the smart thing to do would be after you know how many panels you're going to have and what action you're going to be relating in every panel is to draw out a separate layer for each of those things and just sort of scribble it down and then take each of those layers and resize it and move it around until you get something that works.
Okay.
Now, even though I just said that, I don't work that way at all.
Fucking liar.
I'll just start scribbling stuff down. Yeah, a lot of times for me, after I've decided how many panels it needs to be, I start working on the size and the arrangement of the panels before I really even know what's going in there. So a lot of times I get stuck with 1 or 2 panels where I'll have a panel and I'll have its size to be whatever size it needs to be for the rest of the page to work, but I'm not sure what is going to go into that panel. So then I'm sort of trapped and I need to make the contents of that panel work for the size and the placement.
Yeah, that happens.
It's a super shitty way to do it.
Yeah,
so don't do that.
I do that.
So don't do it.
Yeah. Well, there's some guys who they swear by actual thumbnails. They do small sketches to figure out what kind of layout they want and stuff like that. I've never been able to do that.
Doesn't that sound lovely to just sit down and be able to lay out an entire issue in a day or something? But then you lose a day's worth of work.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think we've talked about this before, or maybe I've talked to you and it hasn't been on air. I'm not sure. A friend of the program, friend of mine, Andy Kuhn, he does that. He lays out an entire 22-page issue on a sheet of 11 by 14. Is that legal? Yeah. No, 8.5 by 14 or something like that. He lays out an entire issue with 1 by 2 pages, 1 by 2 inch pages. And he blows those up. But I've seen his layouts, and you could almost print a comic just off his layouts. I I've never been able to do that. I've never sat down and laid out a whole issue, and I've rarely ever laid out just a page.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't have. My brain doesn't function that way. I can't. I probably could, and I probably should. It just seems like a complete waste of time.
Yes,
I can't give a whole day to that. Because that's what it would take. If I'm going to sit down and it's going to take me an hour to lay out this page, then that's 2 days worth of work right up front. I mean, I'm sure it has some value to the editor, and it has value to the letterer, even if it's a full script book.
Yeah,
but
although there are, I mean,
a layout
and a thumbnail are not the same thing. I have a problem distinguishing layouts, thumbnails, and loose pencils, but they're not the same thing.
What's the difference between a thumbnail and a layout?
Well, a thumbnail,
other than a thumbnail being a tiny layout,
a thumbnail should be the most basic thing ever, and you should be able to do it in like 10 minutes. As a layout, just like you, or just like me for you, a layout takes about an hour. But I think a thumbnail should only take...
So you're thinking of the thumbnail being an extra step from the layout. Like the layout comes first, and then you translate it into a thumbnail.
No. Thumbnail comes first, and then if you want, you either translate it into a layout or...
Well, the layout is the placement of panels and the composition of the contents.
Yeah, I guess I look at it a different term. I think of layout as... What I consider layouts are rough pencils. But I think you're right. So some people might go figure out their panels and then do their thumbs. You know, it's a step that I don't do, I guess, is what everyone's figuring out at this point.
The video portion of this that I'm recording for work is terribly boring right now. I have not touched it.
Damn it. Shack, for lack of a better word. Ah, shit, I put it on the wrong layer. That's the word. That's the downfall to working digitally is not...
Yeah.
First of all, you use too many layers. And second of all, you don't always work on the right layer. So I usually try to... You're saying... So, all right, getting off the pointless layouts nonsense, because everyone does it different. You ink every panel on a different layer?
No.
Oh, I thought that's what
I used to do that. Then you get then you have so many layers. You can order them into folders and stuff, but then it's another layer to click on every time. It's
right.
For a while there, I was even treating it like a physical page and just inking everything on the same layer
and using your eraser tool and shit.
And that worked for a spell, but no, I do separate layers for figure inks, background inks, panel borders, and then sort of like effects, just textures and
exactly
tones and shit.
Yeah, I do a background layer, an ears layer, and then I do a foreground layer if it's necessary. I mean, if there's a foreground before my characters, that's on a third layer. And that's just so you can erase that shit. It's so you can erase that shit and not have to worry about it. So yeah, now I'm doing my backgrounds are they on the same layer? Let's find out. No, on a different layer than some. So really, actually, once I finish a panel, then I will flatten it all down to one layer of inks. And then I'll open up another layer for my background inks, because I don't want to get confused of what is what, and I don't want to spend time naming every layer. So when I finish a panel, I'll flatten all my inks to one layer, and then I'll start over again on the next panel. If that makes sense. Okay. So now I'm going to... Scott, why don't you entertain us while I pop open this mango mosaic?
Sure. Hey, did you see the Venom trailer?
Sadly, I did.
Yeah.
Let me start by saying, everyone your age and younger. So when I was like 12, Venom was new when I was like 13 or 14. But for your generation, Venom was like your shit, right? He came up when you were like 8 or 9 or 10, something stupid like that.
Yeah, something stupid.
Yeah. So I have no love for that character. And I actually I think it was Larson who created him and always had the mouth shut with just the big teeth. And I think it might have been Larson that opened up the mouth and had the tongue and shit. And I hate that. I hate I hate open mouth, big tongue Venom.
Yeah, it certainly seems like something that's not going to translate.
And we've seen it twice on screen now. Did it translate well in spite? Did it translate?
I don't know. I when you get to the end of the new trailer and that face shows up, for me it was a kind of a sort of. It wasn't whoa.
It was like a
what?
Pull my shawl over me and warm up.
Roll clutching moment. It was the effect doesn't look bad.
I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is the eyes.
I think the problem is also the context. Where in that trailer did it tie it anywhere to Spider-Man? Like, why does he look like that?
Well, the trailer didn't show his chest, so if he doesn't have the chest spider,
but why does he have the eyes?
I don't know. All I know is the eyes look like milky and plastic. It looked like the worst effect. It looked like they hadn't quite finished the effect, but they had to release the trailer.
It looked like
it looked terrible. I will admit, yeah, it does look like Spawn. I will admit I did not watch the trailer with sound on, but everyone was making fun of Tom Hardy's accent.
Oh boy, it was bad. Not like unconvincing sort of bad, like an Australian guy trying to hide Australian accent, but when you hear that voice come out of that dude, you're like, what the fuck?
Was he going for like a New York or Boston accent, or is it just supposed to be a generic American accent?
It's got that New York tinge, but it's so high pitched. It's yeah. I know you got a Hardy on for Tom.
I was gonna say, did you lose your boner for him after that? The boner for him.
I don't know. Everybody's getting gobbled up by the superhero movie express train, right?
Well, I assume they're all. I'm assuming they all looked at Robert Downey Jr.'s contract, and they all said yes, but I want a percentage, right? So they all think it's going to be the Avengers, but it's not. But they're still going to get. It's probably still going to be his biggest. He's probably going to make more money off Venom, no matter how it does.
Sure,
than he has on anything else.
I don't know. I could, if they play it as sort of like a straight sort of sci-fi action movie, I think that can work. But aesthetically, I don't understand how that design works if it's not connected to Spider-Man in some way.
Well, I mean, the trailer shows in association with Marvel Studios,
right?
So there's a chance maybe Tom Holland shows up and they're just not showing it in the trailer. But
he plays like an investigative reporter who comes across whatever military sort of cover-up thing with this alien symbiote, and then and it's super goofy. All of the shots with him, like beating up those bad guys in his apartment with the shit shooting off of his back and like hitting guys,
right?
Just conveniently coming out of his back so they don't have to animate the part where it clings to him or comes out of his body or messes up his clothes or anything.
Yeah. No, it looks awful.
It looks lazy.
It looks like, yes, it looks lazy, and it looks exactly as I thought it would look. I never once thought like, oh, this movie is going to be great, because not every character, like, look, I dug the Ant-Man movie. Ant-Man doesn't need a movie. Venom plays well as a secondary character to Spider-Man. The Hulk, there's a reason there hasn't been a Hulk solo movie with Mark Ruffalo. He plays better in small bits in another person's movie. They should have just saved Venom. They should have saved Tom Hardy's Venom for The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yes. Yes, I agree. He needed an introduction of some sort. I don't think putting him in his own film right away. I don't think his origin story, whatever it turns out to be, independent of Spider-Man, is enough to carry a feature film.
Right. Oh, shit. My son's calling me. Hang on a second. We could keep this on air. Hey, I'm in the middle of recording a podcast. Can I call you in a little bit? All right. Bye. Bye. Okay. So, I agree. He doesn't need his own movie. I can understand why Sony wants to do it, because they sold out Spider-Man, but necessary, and it is lazy. You know, Sony could buy another property. Sony could develop the Valiant universe. They could develop, I don't know. They could bid. I don't know. I don't know what they.
Sony's dead in the water.
That's not it. Water.
Sony needs to pack it up and go home. The best thing they could do right now would be to auction off all of their assets.
Yeah, I can't think of the last time. Why am I drawing these circles freehand like an idiot? I guess it makes it look cool. So, yeah, like, are there other Sony movies?
Like Ghostbusters,
like franchises. Ghostbusters. All right.
Adam Sandler.
What, does he have, like a first look deal with Sony?
Yeah, until his agreement with Netflix.
Right, because he's a Netflix dude now, right? He just makes like shitty movies for Netflix.
Yeah, Sony doesn't have anything. Nothing.
No, I remember when I went to art school years and years ago, I had a pretty cool teacher, and she left halfway through one semester, and so my streams are holding up, but my Photoshop is lagging. I had a teacher, and she was pretty cool and whatever, and she left midway through the semester to go work at Sony Animation.
Oh no!
And I was like, oh, what a great gig. And then I was like, oh, that's a great connection for me to have. And then it was not. Like, I can't think of any big Sony Animation hits, but I guess I haven't
Sony
had
Animation.
Kids.
Do they do?
Yeah.
Are they affiliated with DreamWorks in any way? Do they do like the Despicable Me movies or something? Or
you know what?
Sony Animation. I feel like I see that logo at the beginning of something.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they're in bed with DreamWorks.
That's I'm sure maybe Sony Animation.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe she did go to work at DreamWorks. But I'm sure one of the 4 people listening to this podcast is like a diehard animation nerd, and they're like, "You fucking idiots! You don't know anything." My answer would be correct. Thank God I haven't had to watch an animated movie in forever. The last one I watched was because you told me to watch Moana, so I did.
Well, it was a fine movie.
There's nothing wrong with it. There's no reason I should have watched it.
The songs were good.
Oh my God. That's what happened.
That is an objective fact.
Yeah. Is it a fact? I guess. I mean, when you have little kids, like, there's nothing you can do. You have to see that shit. No,
that's not. I have to see that movie, and that movie was fine. the shit that I have to see is I have to see Peter Rabbit. I have to see. Oh God, what was the other one that was so bad I couldn't believe it? What did we? I can't think of the name of it now.
What was it about?
I don't even remember.
Sherlock Gnomes?
There's no way. No way.
The one with the rabbit, the animals?
What? Peter Rabbit.
The one? No. There's another one with a rabbit and like a sloth, and the rabbit was a cop.
Oh, Zootopia.
Zootopia.
That was a fine movie.
You probably
too.
love that.
That was fine. No, there was some garbage that I could not believe. Shit.
And this
it had
my ass.
Oh no, it wasn't garbage. Actually, you know what? Fine. I think we went to see the My Little Pony movie. There was I was shocked because there was a Pulp Fiction reference in the movie.
Oh, they know that dudes like you were trapped there, and they gotta.
Well, that's what the good movies do. I mean, that's what Pixar is famous for, right? Is making movies for children and adults. They're able to bridge that gap, that entertainment gap, with shit like anything from DreamWorks is just garbage. All of the Shrek movies and the Despicable Me movies and Minions and.
Hey, are you still not working?
No, I'm not. I'm not doing.
Can I quit? Can I quit then, and then we don't have to worry about that aspect because my Photoshop is lagging like a bitch.
Why don't you shut it down?
All right, I'll save it. Fascinating for our listeners.
Oh,
okay,
that's what's happening.
Good.
My headphones are pushing down that little button right on the top of my hat.
Yeah, hurts.
Ow.
It hurts more than it should. It's just a little button.
Turns me into a little girl. Ow.
Yeah. So one of the reasons we're recording today, which is, first of all, we haven't recorded on a normal recording day in like 3 weeks. It's kind of fucking me up. But the reason we're not recording today is #Red for Ed, right? Kids are going to be home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was talking to my wife this morning, and I was saying, I hope to God this strike doesn't last more than 2 days. You know, I hope it doesn't go into next week.
Yeah, hopefully our pussy ass governor steps up and does the right thing. Yeah,
I like it. I like it because
he's gonna fuck me up.
I kind of dig this strike because he tried to like pawn them off and say like, okay, I'll give you this and this and this, thinking that it would end it. And then they're like, well, there's no money in the budget for that. So we know you're lying. So we're still going to strike. So I kind of dig that he thought he could just open his mouth, say a lie, and they would go back to teaching. So I'm fully on board with the educators.
Oh, totes. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
For real. It's they get a raw deal. I think we're 49th or 50th in
49
education spending.
Yeah.
I don't know who's 50. Is it Mississippi or something?
It's got to be.
Yeah, it's something like that. You're eating on the show. All right, and lean into your mic.
I don't know what you said, but you were lagging a little bit. But I'm eating my orange.
No. I'll retweet the hashtag. I support the movement. Josh Buckley, my neighbor, friend of the show, fellow podcaster from Comic Exposure, is president of the Mesa Educators Association. So I have been getting regular updates on what has been happening. But don't ask me because I don't know, because I don't pay attention.
Yeah, I get daily emails from my kid's executive director, but I don't. Whatever.
Yeah, it just leads to days off for them that will get tacked on to the end of the year whenever this gets resolved.
We have built-in snow days up here. 2 days don't affect us, and Monday doesn't affect us because we still have 3 more snow days that they're going to give the kids off anyways because our school year is already a week longer. But if it goes past Monday, then they got to stay and either do half days on Saturday.
That's when the kids start calling the governor's office.
Something like
I got to get some stuff done.
Yeah.
I should be working while I'm talking here. I should be.
Well,
I'm chewing on the layout. That's the thing that I do.
Your feed is choppy as hell. I was gonna say, I closed my window with the YouTube feed on. I don't know if anyone left any comments or questions. I'm sure they didn't.
No. Do we have any Facebook comments? Do you know?
No, I closed my. Well, so I'm an idiot. I closed my browser, but the Google Hangouts window is still open, but it's not a normal browser window. So when I try to reopen Chrome, it just brings up your face on Google Chrome. It doesn't bring up a new window.
Oh.
See what I'm saying?
No, I'm not really paying attention.
Yeah, I could open another browser. Like I could open what's that Microsoft browser? Internet Explorer. But what's the point?
What's the point? What's the point of anything?
Oh, I like that. So I tried to open Internet Explorer and my pop-up happened. It's like, you sure you don't want to open this in Chrome? I definitely want to open it in Chrome. Yeah, so I had I jotted down another note here that I went to Meow Wolf last Saturday. I don't know what you said. Yeah. So it's like an art installation, like a full-on inside a warehouse. They have an entire house. So the house has, let's say, 12 rooms. And then you could go through portals. So like you can open the fridge and walk into another whole building or a whole nother area. And you can slide down the dryer and open up into a whole new area. And it's like all fancy. It's like Disneyland for adults. Like you could just wander. Like remember when you were a kid and you just run around and you touch everything and climb on everything and all that shit? It's like that before adults. So you're in a room that looks like a spaceship. And then you're in a room that has like mushrooms growing out of the wall. And then you're in a room that has like skeletons everywhere. And it was super fucking impressive. Super cool. And Aaron, friend of the program, Aaron Campbell, was telling me that the first 2 years since Meow Wolf has been open, they've made like $40 million.
Whoa.
And I don't know if that's profit or if that's whatever, but I know I was there on a Saturday and it was $25 a person, which honestly is super cheap for you get unlimited access. You could stay there for 10 hours if you want. So $25 is cheap. And there must have been, I'd say, a couple hundred people there just in the 6-hour span we were there. So let's say they had 300 people all day. I don't know how math works. I think it's like $60,000 in one day. And then they have a bar, coffee shop, bakery, gift shop. It's fucking crazy.
Now this was on your trip to Albuquerque to see the breeders.
Yeah, I went to Albuquerque. We saw the breeders, which is fantastic. I blew my voice out. Still a little fucked up. Then the next day, I hung out and drank with Andy Kuhn and Aaron Campbell and Andy's wife and my wife. And I got fucked up. Got sick that night. Stupid. Drank too much. Too many IPAs. And then Saturday, we went to Meow Wolf, and it was fucking amazing. Like, I want to take my kids there. I want to make a special plan to go to Santa Fe. Sorry.
Sounds great.
People outside my office. So I recommend it. But it made me think about like what is art? I'm not a big fan of like modern art or expressive art or people using the term art in general. But this was art. This was like craftsmen built this, thought went into it, lighting engineers, sound engineers. It was nuts. You look like you're falling asleep.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel that 8.5.
Okay. Too bad you don't have two more. Oh, great! So the whole angle of the podcast is going to change to us trying to make noise so that we're on camera, and not the other guy.
Right? I gotta
Right?
get 2 pages done today.
Have you started either of them?
I'm thinking about the layouts on this one.
So I saw that. I woke up this morning and I looked at my phone and I saw that you posted work that you were doing, and it said 7 hours ago, which means you were up working last night at like midnight, 11 midnight.
Yeah, I went to bed about midnight.
Is that normal for you?
It depends on the day. If I can get about 6 hours, I'll be all right.
Yeah, I feel like 7 hours is a sweet spot. 6 hours you can only do X amount of days in a row. You can't do that shit all the time.
If it's less than 6, then I start dragging. But 6 is pretty good. I can operate for 18 hours on 6.
Jesus. Well, I guess that's what happens when you're drawing 2 or 3 books. How many books are you working on right now?
2 right now.
Okay.
If somebody wants to give me another one, don't.
Right. All right. Well, maybe we should wrap it up since neither of us are working. You're about to fall asleep. Might have to power nap.
A cup of coffee.
Yeah. You ever heard about that thing about drinking a cup of coffee and then napping for 20 minutes? You ever heard that theory or that practice? No?
Drinking a cup of what? That's the last thing I heard.
Yeah. Yeah, you cut out. So there's
Drinking
a thing that
what?
I got to do so much editing. So you drink coffee. So you drink coffee and then you power nap for 20 minutes. And because whatever's in coffee, when you first drink it, makes you tired. And then about 20, 30 minutes later, the caffeine kicks in.
It takes me about 30 minutes to fall asleep.
Yeah, I'm usually like that. Last night I went to bed and I set my sleep timer for an hour because I listen to audiobooks when I sleep. I was up when it ended, and then I put on like a rain noise, like a white background rain noise, and I set that timer at an hour, and I feel like I heard that one end as well. So
is this now when you listen to stuff? All right, do you have earbuds in, or is your wife also hearing this?
No, my wife's also listening to it, but she can fall asleep while it's playing pretty easily. So, but we listen to. No. She's the one who wants to listen to it. Like we listen to Harry Potter audiobooks every night.
Now, my wife just got me a sleep mask with built-in Bluetooth with speakers.
Yeah.
In the ears. So yeah, usually when I go to bed now, I find a YouTube video that's like 10 hours of rain on a tent or something, or
right,
thunderstorm or some such, and I just put that on. It usually dies before I wake up, so I'll wake up at some point and it'll be off.
Yeah, because your Bluetooth battery dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a sleep mask with headphones built into it?
Yeah. So it's the sleep mask that the speakers don't reach around to my ears. They lay about right here on the sides of my head. And then there's a little control box like right here. It's got on, off, and volume. So I thought, oh, well, you know, if I sleep on my side or something, it's going to squish my fucking face. But it ends up being okay. No, it's fine.
It's just too much of an engineering feat.
It's great. Because I had mentioned the best sleep I ever got was after my first son was born. So when he was born, we slept in shifts. So I would sleep from I would do 9 to 1. So she would do any sort of baby work until 1 a.m. Then after 1 a.m., I would be on duty. So if he got so from 9 to 1, I would put in earplugs and I had a sleep mask, and it was fantastic. Yeah, so just out of the blue, she got me this thing, and I end up listening to YouTube videos or something, like movie reviews and shit like that. Whatever I'm watching or listening to at the table, when I start falling asleep, that's what I continue listening to when I go to bed. It just helps.
You should listen to this podcast. You'll probably fall right asleep.
Yeah, it's doing the trick right now.
Yeah. Okay. So how was your 8% New Belgium triple?
It was not great. 2, maybe. I think what was his name? Zen Vortex was correct. His review was pretty accurate.
All right. Yeah, my problem with
I didn't get metallic or a funk smell like a farmhouse. But it was nothing special.
No, my problem with triples, and I've talked about it before, is all those Belgian style beers. They taste like the juice of lunch meat.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so my Breckenridge Brewing Company.
Brewery.
The thing is I'm not at all even buzzed, but I have such a hard time saying BREWER. That sound.
Brewery. Yeah, you want to keep going on from that W sound just right to the end.
Yeah, so Breckenridge Brewery, Mango Mosaic.
Stupid word.
It's not bad. It's not really that bad. I don't mind fruit beers as long as they're not sours. So this one's pretty good. I'd give it a. Hang on. I'm gonna give it a 3. It's got an aftertaste I don't love, so I'll give it a 3.
Right.
All right. Excellent. So follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at TIG_show. Follow us on Twitter at ScottyGod, at Ryan Cody. All the past episodes are available on TigShow.com. You can go to TigShow.com and click on the support TIG link. From there, you can support the show monetarily. You can buy stuff. You can support the show by going to iTunes and leaving us a review. All kinds of good shit. So, yeah, enjoy your next 2 days. That didn't make any noise, so no one saw that but me. Enjoy your next 4 days with your children.
You should just go out on that.
Yes. All right, man. I'll talk to you next week. And this is my last show at this studio. Next week I'm back at home.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah. Dropping F-bombs left and right. Walking around without a shirt. Whatever. All right. I'll talk to you next week.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.